Hello, beautiful unicorns. Yana Kasperczak coming to you live from Ontario of Canada as your certified professional performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach. It has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from the mental prison you find yourself in and build a life, a business, and/or a career that you're obsessed with. And this little guy is sitting in my arms because he's behaving like a little toddler who needs to learn to behave a little bit better. He's scratching the shite out of this chair that I'm sitting on and trying to play with me in that way, antagonize me. So I decided to pick him up, and you can hear him meow and bite himself as well. He's a distinguished young gentleman today with his little bow. Okay. So if you see me shoo him away, this is what's happening from the chair. So today I wanted to talk about, on the weekly Get Your Shit Together, weekly live guidance podcast that I do in this Facebook group, Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing, Spiritual Growth for Women. I like to help women in specific areas of their life that will help them to feel like they're beginning to start getting their shit together. And one of the areas where it makes the biggest difference is clutter-free, organized, clean spaces. One of the telltales of a person struggling with their mind often manifests itself physically through their space. And at the same time, whenever there is mess and clutter in a space, that can also affect the mind. So therefore, it becomes almost like a double-edged sword. And I wanted to talk about, here's the actual topic: how decluttering your space can clear your mind and boost productivity. I know some of you already started doing that, already started decluttering your spaces, and you've noticed a big difference in your mind, in your ability to focus, and stay on task, and in your mood as well, and in your energy, and in the sheer amount of things that you do and complete afterwards. When you have clutter in the space that you're in, it distracts you. It takes space in your subconscious mind and body. So when you clean it up, when you organize it and get rid of the things that you don't need in that space, all of a sudden you actually not only create a vision and partially or possibly illusion that now you have more space in that room, that you're actually creating more space in your mind, because you take this to-do task, because when you have a cluttered space, part of your brain creates a task: I must organize, I must declutter, I must get this space in order and make it orderly. And when that's done, it literally creates space in your mind. It reduces your cognitive overload, where a cluttered environment, it bombards your brain and creates an unnecessary stimuli and overload on the system, where it makes it harder to focus, because you have this distraction, you have that distraction, you have this one, you have this one, you have that one. And there's a study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that visual clutter competes for your brain's attention, decreasing your ability to concentrate and process information effectively. So go and check out that study. And the reason why I encourage everyone to check out these studies that I'm going to be sharing with you is because when my goal is to help you convince yourself to finally when you convince yourself, what happens is no matter how tired you are, you become excited with that task. You find that energy somewhere and it comes out of nowhere, and yet it comes in from within you. It's not like you go and you go into the fridge, you take something out of the fridge, you put it in your body, and boom, you got energy. How many times have you even drank coffee and it didn't help you in the way you wanted to? It made you more tired, it made you more sluggish, it caused you to feel foggy in your brain, fog brain. For me, very often. So coffee is not necessarily what's going to help you to get that energy. What's going to help you to get that energy is the phrase that comes to mind is like a neural connection. When there is a neural connection in your mind and body and things, it's like the aha moment. All of a sudden certain things make sense. You get a boost of dopamine and maybe even adrenaline. You get so excited. You're like, oh my God, this is awesome. This is amazing. And when it comes to decluttering and organizing, if this is one of the next things you want to focus on in your life, this is why I encourage those of you who are ready to tackle a specific space or perhaps the entire house, but one space at a time. I will share certain things that you can take in, that you can learn from, that you can absorb on top of this podcast, so that way you motivate yourself and you excite yourself and you inspire yourself and you in many ways educate yourself. Because one of the reasons why you don't even get started is because you don't even know where to start. You don't even know what to do or how to do it. So I'll try to remember to get to that. The first one that comes to mind is this study. Look the study up, read about it, familiarize yourself with it. And that is the Journal of Neuroscience that found that visual clutter competes for your brain's attention, decreasing your ability to concentrate and process information effectively. So an example will be, if your desk is messy, your brain is constantly processing irrelevant details that you don't need. And it distracts you, like that pile of papers maybe you have on your desk. Like the way that I would describe it, everything becomes a to-do list for all of us. It becomes a to-do list, or must do, or have to do, or need to do. Everything is a list. Even how you feel, even what you think, everything is a list. When you're even thinking about, let's say you had a conversation with your friend or a partner and it was not as a pleasant conversation, and you wanted to go and have a different conversation afterwards, the way that you're rehearsing to have that conversation, there is unconscious strategy behind of what you're going to say first, what you're going to say second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on and on and on, which really comes down to a list. Right? Everything is a list, and it makes sense as it should be. Your achievements, your goals, your dreams, even your pedigrees, as I like to refer to, which is your diplomas, your certificates that you have received. Everything is a list. This one, you got this one first, you got this one first, and then so on and on and on. Your goals, this one first, this one second, third, fourth. Everything comes down to being a list. So when you're looking at your desk and your desk is cluttered, or unorganized, or there's a bunch of maybe even just unnecessary garbage in it that should be in the garbage, and you're avoiding dealing with it. And I'm not gonna lie, this is why I'm using that example, because my desk could use a little bit of TLC. I've been prioritizing other things in my life, and I've put some things at my desk that I just haven't put back yet, or they're pending tasks. Instead of having a pile of papers, there's a little note here, a little note there, and then sparkly globe from my son that he got for his room, and then really quickly he broke the string that I was on. So I thought, hey, I'll hang it in my office. I brought it here, and it's on my desk. So all of us can use a little bit of a reminder. So with the messy desk, when you have that pile of paper and you have that mess, each and everything is added to that list. So as I look on my desk, the list would be organize my notes and get rid of the papers and the notes that I no longer need. Task number 1. Put away these crow wings where they belong. Task number 2. Decide what I'm going to do with this globe. Task number 3, perhaps even going a little deeper. Once I decided on what I'm going to do with that globe, decide when I'm going to actually take action on what I've decided to do with that globe. What else is there? Put that note from one of my coaching sessions where it actually belongs, and put the marker away and the pen away. So that way it's completely clean and organized and there's nothing there. Otherwise, these are in the back of my mind as pending tasks, taking up my mental focus and my mental energy. And this is just a desk. The other part in my mind, subconsciously, if we're just talking about this office, I want to hang the shelf that I have that's standing here with things nicely, neatly, and organized. Deciding to do that or not doing anything with it. And not really much else, but there's a lot of different decorations that I could just put away so the office looks less cluttered, I guess, even though it's not cluttered, but they could go somewhere else in the house because they would look and be noticed and seen by everyone in the family, and everyone could enjoy them instead of just me. And it will allow space for another piece to come into my office. So replace one of the decorations from upstairs down here. So that's one thing that it does. It reduces the cognitive load on your mind, on your brain. Having a clutter-free and organized space is also going to lower your stress and anxiety. How many of you do you think, or do you know that part of your general anxiety is triggered by the spaces, the messy, unorganized, or cluttered spaces in your house? Like I said earlier, it could be a side effect of the struggle of the mind, or side effect or result, or it could be the actual cause, or adding and contributing to the cause of the mind. And how many of you possibly are dealing with your general anxiety, and these spaces are the ones that are adding to it or causing it? When you're living in a cluttered space, it can definitely, whether you're living or you're working in cluttered space, it can trigger stress and it can trigger anxiety. And there's research from Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin that revealed that women who described their homes as cluttered had higher cortisol levels, aka stress hormone, than those who described them as restful or peaceful or organized or cozy or comfortable. Chronic stress impairs decision making and reduces productivity. So if you want to be more productive, identify what's causing you stress. If it's that space, then take the time to motivate yourself, inspire yourself, and while you are educating yourself. And when you do those things, you will naturally find yourself wanting to take on that task and you feel excited. It's kind of like going on one of your favorite roller coaster rides. And then when you get off the roller coaster ride, you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. I want to go again. And then you get to go again. Clean up and organize another space. Declutter it. Get rid of things. Don't hold on to things that you don't know what to do with. You can put those things in a box. So when it comes to decluttering, there's going to be a few boxes. Box number 1, keep. Box number 2, throw away. Box number 3, give away or donate. Box number 4, I'm not sure yet, and I'll see. So all of those previous ones are self-explanatory, but box number 4, that's the one that some of you might have a question about. What is it I don't know? I'll deal with it later box. So that's one of those boxes that you put things in and you put it in the garage. Put it in the garage, close it, seal it. And then you're going to go through your month, through your months or a year, and you might realize that you never needed to go into the box. So then what you do is you take that box, you can label it so that way you know what it is. To donate or keep in a question mark. And if you don't go into that box, don't even open it. Just donate it. I know part of you might struggle with that. But how many times would you end up struggling and then you open it, you go through it, and then you end up keeping half of the box or the whole entire box, and then you're back to square one? You did not need those things. You didn't use them. So let them go, set them free, and move on. You don't need it anymore. Pretend that you've already given it away and you can give it away for the second time. When you tidy a space, it can help you calm your nervous system. It can help you to feel more in control of your environment, and it eliminates that task from your to-do list. So that means now you have less to do, and you also, in many ways, feel like you've reclaimed and you gained your time back. And then because now there's now clarity and there's focus in your mind, you make better decisions. You are much more clear-minded. You become more clear-minded. You're more focused. Your decisions are not usually the decisions that you will end up regretting later. Clutter can also lead to decision fatigue, where you find yourself feeling tired of making decisions, so therefore you're undecisive and you're not deciding. This is where your brain becomes overwhelmed by too many small decisions, leading you to stress and causing you to feel overwhelmed. And then you have less energy for making the big decisions that matter. And when you organize your space, you eliminate unnecessary choices. And when you organize it, you know where everything belongs, you know where to put everything, and you don't have to go on a search party after or ask yourself, where did I put that? Where did that go? You know where everything goes, you know where everything belongs, and you put it there. And it's usually going to be by categories, right? Even, let's use kitchen as an example. In a kitchen, you probably already have your spoons, forks, butter knives, and then teaspoons, and they're all organized in their specific slots of the organizing tray that you probably have in your drawer. And however they are, it might not be spoons first, doesn't matter which order everything is. Everybody has their own preference. But what you're probably not going to be putting in there is your spatulas, your um like strainers, all the other bigger tools that you're cooking with, because then it becomes messy and chaotic. You have a different drawer where you put those items. Maybe you have even a different drawer where you put maybe your hand mixer or whisks and things like that. Maybe you have a drawer for cutting boards as well, because you're not going to put everything in one drawer. You're going to organize it. So that way, when you go to the kitchen, you know, top drawers for this, second drawers for that, third drawers for that, and fourth or however many drawers you have. In the cabinets, you have your area where you put your cups, your dishes, and you have your cups and your glasses, and another one where you put your plates, your bowls, and then maybe even have fancy dishes where you put, you know, where everything is. And then it takes that guesswork or search party work out of the equation. You don't have to go look for that. It frees up your mental bandwidth. And the same thing goes for when you have a family, you're responsible for taking care of your family, where all their things are also neatly and organized, and you're teaching them how to do that. So if they come to you and they ask you, where is that? They know. Like in one of the drawers, we have notepads in the kitchen, right? So it's available for everyone. There's a little slot for, there's little notepads like this in there, and a little bit bigger, depending on what you want to write. And then pens and papers. And then what else do we have? Nail clippers for dogs. And then for us, those cuticle cutters. And then the little pins for, it's like a miscellaneous drawer. It's important to have the miscellaneous drawer, and everybody in the house knows where it is. Everybody in the house knows where everything goes in that miscellaneous drawer. They open it, they use it, they put it back. Not all the time, but sometimes they do. You know, most of the time they don't, but sometimes they do. And then that sometimes becomes most of the time, and then it becomes all the time. It's all of us, we can retrain ourselves and create new habits where you take something, you use it, you put it right back where you found it. And then there's moments where, you know, get distracted or get busy, or I'll do it later. You know, laziness taps in and takes over. It's like, I don't feel like it. So then you don't. So if you want to free up that space and time as well, because it takes mental focus, it takes physical focus of even looking for it, for that item, by organizing the space, however big or small it is, so that way you know where everything is, and then take your family through the tour. Show them where everything is. And then if they ask next time, okay, they ask next time because perhaps they forgot. You remember because you took the time and the energy and the effort to do it. So don't take it personal. Don't get upset. It's not about you. It's because their brain is occupied with other things. So therefore, they're not going to fully remember where everything is. Then take them on another tour. And then take them on another tour and another tour until they finally know where everything is. In your pantry, you have things probably organized as well. You have chips in one area, crackers maybe around there somewhere, granola bars. What else is there that you have in a pantry? Maybe some pastas, whatever it is that you have in your pantry. Everything is organized. But if everything is thrown in there together, chances are you don't go to that pantry very often because you don't even want to open the door. Because every time you open the door, it doesn't feel good. So think of those spaces in your house where you open a door, and it instantly sours your mood. Start there. So science-backed tip. Declutter your workspace so you know exactly where everything is. Tools, notebooks, resources. Your brain loves efficiency. It really does. And this boosts your productivity. You want to boost your creativity? That's another bonus that you're going to get. It's a side effect of decluttering and organizing your space. And essentially, it will also help with your mind and focus and productivity. So with creativity, an organized space, what it allows you to do and feel, it it allows you to have space that provides and allows for the flow of creativity. And how I'll put it is, creativity partially comes from boredom. So if you're not bored enough, chances are you're not going to be too creative. You're not going to be expressing your creativity. And expression of creativity is different for everyone. It's different. For me, for example, most of my creativity that I tap into and I utilize every single day, except the weekends, except the days that I have off and spend time with my family, is I do these podcasts. I create content. I find ways that I love and enjoy utilizing my gifts and my ability and add value to our business, which is Empathy Unicorn Academy. This group is under the umbrella of Empathy Unicorn Academy. Then we have the Secret Circle under the umbrella of Empathy Unicorn Academy. Then we have numerous courses and products that some of you are already utilizing. The rest of you are slowly getting introduced to, and some of you might not even be interested in that. And that's absolutely fine, right? We're all different anyway, so this is where my creativity flourishes. And on top of that, um, DIY and renovations in the house. So I like upcycling and recycling things once in a while, and doing renovations in the house, and coming up with new ways to busy myself, meaning right now we got reptiles. We got 3 crested geckos. We got 4 Cuban tree frogs, and taking care of them, and how do I want to feed them, and how do I want to take care of the live insects, and then perhaps maybe even allow them to multiply, because it saves an enormous amount of money that way. And live food is always best for all of us, even for us humans. If we eat food products, that's dead food. It's actually not even food. It's not too much different than cardboard that you sprinkle some lab-made vitamins and nutrients that is still lab-made that your body might not know what to do with. So with animals, it's the same concept. So those are just a few things that I find ways to express my creativity. And I know when I feel blocked in those spaces, very often it might be because there is one of these pending tasks in my mind that requires decluttering and organizing, whether it's of a physical space or the mental space, or maybe the plan is too elaborate of what I'm wanting to do. So there is a study in psychological science found that people perform better on creative tasks in tidy environments. Clutter can act as a mental block. And then while a clean space allows you to have a clear mind and clear thinking, which allows you to come up with creative and innovative ideas. An example of that would be declutter your creative workspace to allow your mind the freedom to brainstorm new solutions or new projects. Because otherwise it's too focused on the clutter, and you can't even begin to be creative because this is a priority. It needs to get done and must be done. And then also, when you're declutter and organize, it promotes mindfulness, when we become mindful in the moment, and then you keep things up, right? You keep things tidy and organized. It's also, in many ways, it's therapeutic. helps you to feel good and boosts your morale or your energy. Decluttering encourages mindfulness by keeping you present in the moment as you decide what to keep and what to let go of. You just have the focus. Let go, keep, let go, keep. And you in the moment. You're not, I mean, potentially you could be jumping into the future. Well, I'm not sure what to do. I might use it, or I might have used it when, and you're replaying when you might have used it or when you decided to keep it. And then jumping into the future of, I might use it for this or I might use it for that. So if there's a use for certain item, then you can put it in the keep pile or put it in the pile of, I'll decide what to do with it later, that it's going to go into your garage. Um, there's the Marie Kondo method. That's where I'm going to bring this in. With Marie Kondo, she has, uh, I can't read the title from here. I do have her book, the 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 art of tidying up with Marie Kondo, or the magic of tidying up with Marie Kondo. You can find it on Amazon. You might be able to find it even on Marketplace on Facebook. Somebody's selling. You want to might be able to download it on Audible as well. You should be able to download it on Audible if you want to listen to it. And what's another option? YouTube. You can probably find it for free on YouTube as well. Listen to that book. It describes to you step by step how to approach decluttering and organizing by categories. What you do first, what you do second, third, fourth, and how. And there's always a big mess that's made. You take everything out and then you go from this pile and you organize it and put it wherever first. Keep, toss, or give away, or decide what to do with it later. The less choices you have to make, the easier it is, right? But with each item, you're going to be making a choice, which means that if you decide not to have that box, the last one I was talking about, where the one that's going to keep in the garage, then don't. It might be too much. And Marie Kondo, what she reminds everyone of, and this is how the decision making process becomes easier. This is where you're not jumping in the past or in the future. You're in the present moment, regardless of how you got it or what emotions and feelings this item created for you throughout your life experiences. You ask yourself right here and now, does this item spark joy? It's a yes or no, right? There is no maybes. It's whether it's either it does spark joy, makes you feel good, or no. If the answer is yes, keep. The answer is no, toss or give away. Simple. And practicing mindfulness throughout this decluttering process has been shown to reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, and increase overall well-being, because you're also practicing being in the moment, being right here now, and then that can little by little seep into your everyday life, especially if you're taking on the perhaps a monumental task of decluttering and organizing, and you got lots of spaces in your house, and today you're doing this category, tomorrow you're doing this category or this category or this category. Marie Kondo encourages everyone to declutter and organize by categories. Whereas also there's the option by a space, whether it's a room or a drawer. But if you're decluttering by category, then I'll use an example of office supplies. That means you go through your whole entire house, including your kids' rooms, and you bring out all of the items that belong in that category of office supplies. You lay it all out so you can see for what it is. And you might be surprised how many pens or pencils you have. But you bring it all together, you see it, and then you go through it and you declutter and organize. In the end, you might keep maybe 10 pens or maybe 100. And then you get rid of another 100, right? And then, of course, all of those things, especially if, let's say, your room is cluttered, or even if your office is cluttered, by dealing with it, by decluttering and organizing it, your sleep improves as well. You sleep better because clutter, it doesn't just impact your day when you're awake. It can affect your nights and your quality of sleep. In the messy bedroom, it or a messy bedroom has actually been linked to poor sleep quality. So if you clean up and organize your room, and that includes the closet, because just because you close the door doesn't mean it's gone. Your subconscious knows, you can't trick it. That affects your sleep as well. But when you clean and organize everything and everything has a place and a space, you sleep better. You feel good. Um, so to start decluttering, you start small. If you've never done it, you got to start small. You got to start somewhere. You're not going to go and decide on to tackle the biggest mess in your house, because it before you know it, you might find yourself quitting and not wanting to do that task and not completing because it feels too much and it feels overwhelming, because it's like you go into the gym, you just sign up for the gym and you go to the gym and you go all out and you spend hours and you sweat like a monster, and then you come out, you initially feel good, but now subconsciously you have told yourself that this is how you must work out each and every time you go to the gym. And you don't want to tell your subconscious this is how you must work out every single time you go to the gym, because you're just not going to go. The same concept can be applied to decluttering and organizing. If you jump to the biggest task, you will tell your mind that this is what it takes for you to declutter and organize your whole entire house. Especially if you're doing it alone. If you have help, then that becomes much easier. But then there's some help that might not be very helpful, right? Especially with your kids. Always asking, you always wanted to keep everything, hold on to everything. Certain things you got to do yourself, or with a friend, or with an expert. So start small. Begin with one drawer or one category at a time. Or maybe even one section of the desk if you're doing a desk. Not the whole entire desk. Start small. You want to have quick wins that build momentum, that remind you what it feels like to do what you say you're going to do. It helps you to rebuild your confidence as well. And use the 1 year rule, which means that if you haven't used it for a year, let it go. That's where this box comes in. The one that you put in the garage. You put it in there, and it's also great for kitchen supplies. You want to clean up your kitchen supplies? You might not want to seal that box, but go through your drawers in the kitchen. Take out the things that you haven't used for a year, or the things that you don't see yourself using. Some of those things you might never used. Take them out, put them in that box, in a garage, and if you need something from the box, you go and get it, and then you put it back in a drawer. And then need another thing, go and get it, use it, wash it, put it back in a drawer. And everything else that's left in there, then donate it at the end of the year. And chances are, the things that you put in that box, you're not going to go back and use. So, do that. And then try or adopt one in, one out rule. With every new item you bring in, you remove one. Let's say you got a new shirt. Get rid of a shirt. A new pair of sweatpants. Get rid of another pair of sweatpants. One pair of pajamas. Get rid of another pair of pajamas. Or maybe even two. Adopt that rule. You set that rule for yourself and stick to it. And then stick to and prioritize essentials. Organize your spaces, your tools, and items that you use daily within arm's length, because this is going to allow you to be more efficient. So the things that I use every single day is my notebook that I use as a daily or weekly, now bi-weekly planner. Initially I started as a daily planner, then I moved to a weekly planner, and then now I've recreated to be a bi-weekly planner. So that way I'm not doing and writing the same thing over and over and over again. It just becomes easier that way. So I have my planner, and I create it myself. And then my pen, I have the pen everywhere, my pen and highlighter. And I actually have 6 highlighters, for one for Monday and Sunday, one for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, one for every day. Why? It's because when I highlight the things that I do, I highlight them for that day, and I can easily tell, oh, this was on a Tuesday. Oh, this was on a Wednesday. And then if I ever go back, I know when it was done, even though it might not be necessary. Just for me, it's funner. It's more exciting to do things that way. And it makes it easy to have it with me all the time. And when you use a timer. When you decide to clean a drawer or a desk or part of the desk, set a timer for yourself. Estimate that approximately it'll take me 30 minutes to declutter and organize this drawer. So you set a timer for 30 minutes, and maybe you'll be done before, maybe later. But then when the timer is done, you're done. And 10 minutes a day decluttering might be another timer that you set, where 10 minutes you're going to spend decluttering this space or this space, or if you start with your desk, 10 minutes a day. And then when that 10 minutes is up, you're done. Tomorrow's going to be another 10 minutes. And then after that, it's going to be another 10 minutes. Because then what happens is you build and you practice this habit of consistency. Consistently going, decluttering and organizing a space. Then before you know it, your whole entire house is going to be decluttered and organized, and you don't have to worry about it at all. So now, the other great place where you can get some information about decluttering and organizing, and more so organizing, because Marie Kondo is more of the decluttering and then partially organizing. Another one that I really like is the Home Edit. You can find them on Instagram. There is a Netflix show that they have as well. You can learn a great deal from them as well. And they implement different ways of both of these places. They implement and share and talk about different ways of decluttering and especially organizing. And in the end, you choose the one that suits you best, how you want to do it. For example, one of the main focuses of the Home Edit is the aesthetic. And the aesthetic is following the color of the rainbow, which means that everything is organized by color. In some areas of your life or spaces, it might make sense, while in others it might not. For books, for example, mine are organized by color. And that way I remember what color that book was, and I can tell you exactly where this Marie Kondo, the magic of tidying up with Marie Kondo, where it is. Because I remember what color it is. It's easy to remember those things. And then with the closet, initially I was doing it that way, but then since the kids have taken over and they'll get to that point, and then we'll continue or get back to doing things in that way. I was organizing things by color as well. In one part of the closet, it is organized by color, but the other part of the closet is not. And also we're going to be redoing the closet, so that's why I'm not bothering with it right now. But once we redo the closet, then I'll be organizing it by color. So that way it becomes easy of, what color do I want to wear? And at the same time, if I'm looking for something, I know what color it is. And it's easier to see it in this one area where all the colors are, and not look through where it might have mixed up in between the other colors. It's not so noticeable. Then you got to move around and look. So yeah, that's what I would say with decluttering and organizing, and how it helps you to regain your clarity, your focus, even your time back, where you're not wasting your time and your energy with where is this, and then looking for it, or what do I do with this, or I gotta get this done, and you're unable to focus because all these things are distracting you subconsciously and at the same time consciously. So that's all I want to share today on the Thanksgiving for all of my friends in the US of A. So happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I hope you're enjoying your meals that help you to connect with yourself and your families as well, and give some thanks. Other than that, I shall see you all next Thursday for another one of these Get Your Shit Together weekly live guidance podcasts with myself, Yana Kasperczak, where I go live at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time on the Thursday in this Facebook group, Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women. Or perhaps I will see you on Monday in the same place, same time, for a card reading, but on Monday. And that's it. Have an amazing rest of your day and weekend until we see each other again. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being in here. And hello to all the new members and all the vets in the group as well that have been, or the OGs that have been with us since the very beginning. Bye, everybody.